Okay, so this is going to be a video on how to put your labels on, on the tin in Photoshop. And the first thing you want to do though in Illustrator is change the artboard and make two artboards actually. So I'm going to go to the artboard tool and I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller for now. And I'm actually going to add an artboard right here for the side right here. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Let me undo that. Okay, so let me get out of here and then move this over here. So you want your side label in its own artboard. So I'm going to go back to the artboard tool and just make this smaller because it doesn't need to be any bigger really than the size of your label. And then I'll go ahead and drag this over here like that. And you can make this one a little bit smaller too. So I've already done this already and mine is right here. And I just want to use this one because this one is actually, I have the layer set up on it and everything. I just copied and pasted that because I'd already done this previously. So I'm going to go ahead and hide the circle and hide the rectangle that we made. So they're really for guides. They weren't really for, I don't want them actually on my tin, so I'm taking them off. Let's just put it that way. All right, so then I'm going to save my changes on this. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to close this one too and not save it because I don't need that. And I'll minimize this. So now I'm going to go ahead and open the tin. And the tin, you can get off the Nux in the public folder. So I'm just, and you're going to right click on it and open with, and you're going to open it with Photoshop. And what's going to happen is you're going to drag in your label twice, so that way you can get in both parts of the label, the side and then the top. So then I'm going to go ahead and bring up my folder here again, and here is the writing for my label, and I'll just go ahead and bring this down like this. And I'm going to drag it on top of here, and it's going to ask me which one do you want to bring in. So I'm going to bring in this one first and press OK. And notice it comes in, and it comes in really small actually, but it works fine. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the size. And this one's fairly easy when you do this one because you're automatically in the free transform tool, Control T, you're already in that. And so I'm going to go ahead and you can actually just size this thing and warp it out with the free transform tool so it fits and looks good on your tin. And you may want to zoom in a little bit to see, you know, how it really comes out and so forth. But pretty much looks pretty good. Like that. Maybe make it a little bit wider here. And then there you go. It looks pretty good. One tutorial that I looked at said that you may want to change in your blend mode here on the layer, you may want to change it to hard light. And it kind of lightens it up when you do that. So I don't really like it when you do that on the front. On the side it actually looks better, so I'm just going to leave that normal. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing again. I'm going to bring up my folder here and drag in my Illustrator file, but this time I'm going to select the other artboard. See, and that's why you needed two artboards, because it has your side label on there. And look, there it is right there, but it's super small, so I'm going to go ahead and increase the size. And I'm going to try to make it as close to the width as possible. And then I'm going to accept this. Okay. Now, of course, it's not right. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see what it looks like. Now, one issue with it is it needs to be warped. So before I do that, this looks like a smart layer, but it's actually a smart object layer, but it's actually not. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on this, and I'm going to select, sorry, I can't remember which one it is. Is that? Yeah, it's this top one. So I'm going to go ahead and new smart, convert to smart object right there. I don't know why it looks like one, but it doesn't act like one. Okay, and the reason why you have to do that is because when you go to edit, and then you go to free transform, we need to actually warp this thing. So we need to go ahead and switch between free transform and warp modes. So I'm going to click here, and now it's going to give us some warps, and I want to use the arc warp. Okay, so it's arcing up, so it's not correct, but what's cool about this is you can go like this and bring it down and get it pretty much to the size where you need to get it. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that, go to my move tool here and move this up, and it's set fairly well, but it's not perfect. So there's one way you can make an adjustment on this, and you can actually what happens is you can adjust it, well, you'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to free transform, and I'm going to go back to clicking on this again, but instead of arc right here, I'm going to go to you could actually adjust it maybe. Let's try to adjust it just a tad bit. Well, yeah, see, we need to have it right like that. So now we're going to go to custom, and this is where you can actually, do a lot of finessing with this. So I'm going to you can click on the little points here and bring each one down. Anytime you see an intersection right here, that's where you can bring it down, or if you see a point like this, you can bring it down. And then also these handlebars, you can actually drag those too. So I'll show you how that works. So I can drag it up a little bit and adjust it. You can actually, like I said, you can click and drag on where these two intersect here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this one down a little bit more here, and bring this one down, and this one, and then this one, and then maybe bring this up a tad bit. And like I said, you can adjust the centers if you want to drag those up if it doesn't look good. And just kind of just play with it. You may have to go ahead and accept it to see what it looks like, and then maybe make some more adjustments. Like the N is pretty close right there. But I'm going to go ahead and leave that because you won't really notice it. But this one I am going to go ahead and do the, on the blending mode, I'm going to go for hard light on this one. So go there. And it just seems to kind of blend on the tin a little bit better. And then there you have it. You have your project, and what you would do now is you'd go ahead and save it. So I'll go ahead and save it. All right, and then I'll just call it shave soap dash Willette done. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to File, and well, before I do this, and I'm not going to save my changes after I do this, because what I want to do is, you can do this or not. I think it's okay, but it's probably better to actually, because right now the size of it's 57 megabytes. So if we go ahead and we flatten the image first, see, that'll bring it down to 25, and then save as, and save this as a JPEG. Okay, and then go ahead and save it in here. And I'll go ahead and press this all the way to maximum, 12. Press save. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then we can go take a look at our new JPEG. So it is right here. And then here is the actual project completed. And that's how you put the label on the tin. Remember, you can get the tin in the Nux. So here, I'll just show you real quick. If I go here, get into the public Nux, graphic design, Photoshop, and then shave soap project. I put these on there. This is it right here. This is the tin, and you can just copy that into your folder. If you want to use my template, but you'd want to change your name, your last name here, you could do that, and that just has the circle already and the rectangle, and it also has the two different artboards.